So you've just made it through an intense course. Your head is probably spinning, right? And now you're facing that big question. With all this information swirling around, how in the world do you actually start studying for the exam? Well, let's break it down. We've got a clear 5-step plan that's going to get you there.
I mean, let's be real for a second. Does your brain feel like it's on fire? This image just captures that feeling so perfectly. It's a universal experience after you've been hit with a massive info dump.
That feeling like you've been run over by a Mack truck? Yeah, that's completely normal. But here's the good news, the really good news. The intense part, the information overload, that's behind you. Now we just shift our focus to a smarter, more structured way of studying. So if you're looking at that mountain of material and thinking, I am so overwhelmed, where do I even begin? You're not alone. That's the single biggest hurdle for most people. And it's exactly the problem we're here to solve. So don't worry, we are going to cut right through that noise with a simple 5-step game plan. This is going to create a clear path for you, taking you from that feeling of chaos to real confidence. All right, let's dive in. Step 1, create your structure. Before you even try to memorize a single fact, you need a framework. This is all about building in some accountability to make sure you actually follow through. This first step gives you 2 really powerful options. You can take the direct approach and just schedule your exam right now. That creates a hard deadline and kind of forces you to prioritize. Or you can build a support system by finding an accountability partner. Someone who, as the source so perfectly puts it, will lovingly poke you to keep you on track. And let's be honest, scheduling the exam can be scary. This quote really acknowledges that. Fear is a powerful thing, and it can totally derail us. So if the idea of setting that date is just too much right now, finding a partner is an equally valid and powerful strategy. The goal is the same either way. Build a structure that holds you accountable. Okay, with your accountability structure in place, let's get practical. Section 2 is all about planning your study sessions. This is where we map out the when and the how. First, a little reality check on time. You should expect to spend a minimum of 20 hours studying for this exam, and for a lot of people, it'll probably be double that. This isn't something you can just cram for the night before. You know that old saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail? It is absolutely true here. So, what does a plan look like in the real world? This sample schedule is a great template. It shows you how you can fit in 22 hours a week without completely burning out. Notice the consistent blocks of time during the week. A mental break on Friday, which is crucial, and then longer sessions on the weekend. This isn't about cramming. It's about distributing the load so your brain can actually absorb the information. And during those scheduled times, you're going to use a technique called chunking. Instead of trying to read the whole textbook at once, you just break it down. You learn the material in smaller, manageable chunks of related info. And here's a great tip from the source. A perfect place to start is the Federal Law Study Guide in the back of your textbook. You have your structure and your schedule. Now, for what might be the single most important part of this entire process, Section 3, Test Your Knowledge. This is where we shift from passively reading to actively learning. The crucial technique here is this active recall loop. First, you read a section. Then, you put the book away and write down some questions about what you just read. Step 3 is where the magic happens. Try to recall the answers from memory. That is active recall. It forces your brain to build stronger pathways to that information, making it stick. Repeat this for all the major topics. The final step, taking a practice exam, then becomes a powerful tool to show you exactly where your knowledge gaps are so you know what to focus on. Okay, let's pull all these pieces together into your final exam game plan. It all comes down to this 5-point checklist for success. First, create accountability, either by scheduling the exam or finding a partner. Second, block out that intentional study time. Third, break all that material down into manageable chunks. Fourth, use active recall, don't just reread. And finally, use practice exams as your diagnostic tool to find and fill any remaining gaps. There you have it, a clear, actionable plan to take you from feeling overwhelmed to feeling prepared and confident. The game plan is laid out right in front of you. So the only question that remains is, what's the very first thing you're going to do?